The Egyptian sun beats down with an intensity that feels ancient. It's a force that has baked the secrets of pharaohs into the very sand for millennia. Imagine standing on the vast windswept plateau of Saqqara. The air is still, but it's thick with the ghosts of history. You can almost hear the faint whispers of priests chanting, the chisel of a stonemason against granite, the lowing of a sacred bull. This isn't just a desert, it's a library where the books are buried cities and the pages are made of stone. Every grain of sand here could tell a story, a tale of gods, kings, and colossal ambitions that honestly defy our modern understanding. It's a place that pulls you in, daring you to ask the big questions. Out here, the line between myth and reality blurs. You're walking in the footsteps of giants, literal and figurative. The ground beneath you isn't just ground, it's a ceiling for a world below, a world of hidden tombs, forgotten passages, and mysteries that have puzzled explorers for centuries. This is the heart of ancient Egypt's sprawling necropolis, a city dedicated entirely to the afterlife, and somewhere under this immense blanket of sand lies one of its most baffling and awe-inspiring sights. We are descending into the Serapeum of Saqqara, a tomb not for a king, but for a god. So what exactly is the Serapeum? Picture this. You find a nondescript entrance on the Saqqara plateau, a simple opening in the rock that gives little hint of the scale of what lies within. You step through and begin a descent into the bedrock. You're not just going into a tomb, you're entering a massive man-made cavern. A network of long, dark tunnels carved deep into the limestone, stretching for hundreds of meters. The air grows cool and still. The only sound is the echo of your own footsteps on the stone floor. This is the Serapeum, a subterranean gallery designed for one of the most important cults in ancient Egyptian history. Its location is key. The Serapeum is situated in the heart of Saqqara, the primary necropolis for the ancient capital of Memphis. For thousands of years, this was the place to be buried if you were anyone of importance. Kings, queens, high officials, they all built their eternal homes here, crowned by Djoser's magnificent step pyramid, the world's first major stone building. The Serapeum's placement within this sacred landscape tells us it was of supreme importance. It wasn't just another tomb complex, it was a site of national and religious significance, a final resting place for beings considered divine manifestations on earth. And what we find down there will change the way you see the ancient world forever. To understand the Serapeum, you have to understand Saqqara. This wasn't just a graveyard, it was a bustling, sprawling city for the dead, a direct reflection of the thriving capital of Memphis nearby. For nearly 3,000 years, this was where elites made their final statement. The landscape is dominated by pyramids, Djoser's step-sided pyramid, the later smoother pyramids, Teti, Unas. Each pyramid was the center of its own cult, temples, causeways, communities of priests maintaining a pharaoh's eternal life. Saqqara, a machine for the afterlife. They all built their eternal homes here, crowned by Djoser's magnificent step pyramid, the world's first major stone building. The Serapeum's placement within this sacred landscape tells us it was of supreme importance. It wasn't just another tomb complex, it was a site of national and religious significance, a final resting place for beings considered divine manifestations on earth. We're heading into the darkness to confront a mystery that has stood the test of time. It's a place where the scale of the construction is simply mind-boggling, and the purpose remains shrouded in debate. The entire purpose of the Serapeum revolves around a single, extraordinary belief: the worship of the Apis bull. This wasn't just any bull. From a young age, a specific calf would be chosen based on a strict set of sacred markings. According to the historian Herodotus, the true Apis had to be black, with a white diamond on its forehead, the image of an eagle on its back, double the number of hairs on its tail, a scarab-shaped mark under its tongue. Finding such an animal was, honestly, a cause for national celebration. It was believed to be the living, breathing incarnation of the god Ptah, and later, a vessel for the soul of Osiris after death. Once identified, the Apis bull lived a life of unimaginable luxury. It was housed in a special temple in Memphis, attended by its own retinue of priests, fed the finest foods, and even given a harem of sacred cows. Its movements were interpreted as oracles, predicting the future and delivering messages from the gods. When the Apis bull died of old age, it was never intentionally killed. The entire nation of Egypt would enter a state of official mourning. The mourning period reportedly lasted for 70 days, the same amount of time required for the mummification of a human. The funeral procession from Memphis to Saqqara was one of the most important religious spectacles in the Egyptian calendar, a solemn and magnificent affair that reaffirmed the divine order of the cosmos and the pharaoh's role as the intermediary between gods and men. Let's get back to those boxes, because once you're standing next to one, everything else just, well, fades away. These are the central mystery of the Serapeum, located in the main later gallery, the Greater Vaults. 24 monolithic sarcophagi line the chamber. Each is carved from a single solid block of stone, Aswan granite, diorite, limestone. The scale is staggering, average box 70 tons, the lid 30 tons, combined 100 tons, equivalent a locomotive engine, or about 50 large SUVs. The precision boggles the mind, not rough-hewn, surfaces inside and out, mirror-like polish, corners perfectly square, run your hand along, flawlessly smooth. Lids cut to a near-perfect seal, no discernible gap. How did a Bronze Age civilization, with copper and bronze tools, do this on such hard stone? Most of the boxes were found completely empty. In 1851, Auguste Mariette blasted into the gallery. He found 23 sarcophagi pushed aside, massive lids askew, and their contents gone. The sheer logistics of the Serapeum are almost as mysterious as the empty boxes themselves. Let's start with the raw material. The majority of the sarcophagi are made of black granite, and some of the sarcophagi are made of red granite, quarried in Aswan, nearly 600 miles to the south of Saqqara. Think about that journey. First, an 80 to 100 ton block had to be hewn from the bedrock. Then it had to be transported down the Nile, a journey of weeks, if not months, on specially constructed barges, a feat of logistics challenging even today. Once the block arrived at Saqqara, the real work began. Hauled up from the Nile Valley onto the desert plateau, maneuvered down a narrow sloping passage, into the subterranean tunnels of the Serapeum, corridors just wide enough for the boxes. Very little room for error for the teams pulling and pushing. How did they control the descent of a 100-ton object down a ramp? How did they make the tight turns into each alcove? No records, no blueprints, no how-to guides. The carving itself raises impossible questions. Granite rates around 7 on the Mohs scale. Tools in the New Kingdom, copper, bronze, both much softer than granite. They could have used stone pounders and abrasive sand slurries, yet the boxes show laser-like precision and a mirror finish. Interior corners so sharp they defy primitive methods. This spawned wild speculation. Engineers and researchers agreed the craftsmanship is extraordinary. Surfaces so flat a straight edge shows no light underneath. Some suggest a lost technology existed. Perhaps related to sound. Perhaps vibration. That softened and shaped the stone. Mainstream Egyptology rejects this, but the boxes make the challenge hard to dismiss. It's no surprise that theories about the Serapeum abound, ranging from the academic to the extraordinary. The mainstream Egyptological view holds firm. These were, without a doubt, the sarcophagi for the sacred Apis bulls. The inscriptions found on stelae at the entrance prove that the site was dedicated to the Apis cult for centuries. The one sarcophagus found sealed by Mariette, though not containing a full mummy, did contain a mixture of ritualistically prepared bone fragments, which supports the idea of a bull burial. The other tombs, scholars argue, were simply robbed of their contents in antiquity. As for the construction, the official explanation relies on Egyptian ingenuity and manpower. When faced with 100-ton granite boxes carved with impossible precision, it's easy to let the imagination run wild. The story of the Serapeum's modern discovery is an adventure in itself, and it centers on one man, the French archaeologist Auguste Mariette. In 1850, Mariette was in Egypt on a mission from the Louvre to acquire Coptic manuscripts. The mission was a bust. He couldn't get his hands on the texts he was after. Frustrated but not defeated, his attention was drawn to Saqqara. He had been reading the works of the ancient Greek geographer Strabo, who described a temple in Memphis where the Apis bull was kept a road lined with sphinxes and covered in sand. Mariette had a hunch. While exploring the Saqqara plateau, Mariette noticed the head of a sphinx sticking out of the sand. It was a eureka moment. He remembered Strabo's description. Could this be the start of the avenue of sphinxes that led to the lost tomb of the Apis bulls? He immediately abandoned his original mission, hired a team of local workers, and began to dig. It was a huge gamble. He was using funds from the Louvre without their permission, betting his entire career on a hunch inspired by a 2,000-year-old text. Slowly but surely his team began to uncover one sphinx, then another. On November 12, 1851, a massive blast blew open a hole in the bedrock. So why, after more than 170 years of study, does the Serapeum continue to hold such a powerful grip on our imagination? It's because it represents the ultimate archaeological question mark. It's a place where the physical evidence is so overwhelming, so tangible, that it directly challenges our assumptions about the past. You can theorize all you want from a library, but when you stand in that cold, dark tunnel and place your hand on a 100-ton granite box that's smoother than your kitchen countertop, theories feel small. The reality of the place is simply bigger than our explanations for it. The Serapeum is a monument to the outer limits of human achievement. Whether you believe it was built with simple tools and limitless devotion, or with some form of lost technology, the result is the same: a feat of engineering that is humbling to behold. It forces us to reconsider the capabilities of ancient peoples. As long as those giant silent boxes sit in the darkness beneath the desert, they will continue to call to us. They challenge us to dig deeper, to question more, and to never stop searching for the truth of what lies beneath the sands. The expedition is never truly over.